and write down the necessity of a curve. Okay, so you can remember and you can write down these points. Okay, so we have studied what is a curve. So curve is nothing but it is defined as an arc, right? It is an arc from here to here. It is an arc which is of a finite radius. Okay, finite radius between two straights to provide a change in direction. Okay, necessity of curve we have seen, right? Necessity of curve for excessive not so to prevent excessive cutting and filling, right? And to provide a gradual change in direction, and also to bypass any obstruction which is there in the road. Okay, so what happens if we do not provide a proper curve? We can see overturning of trucks, right? If the curve is not provided and a sharp curve is provided, and you go into that curve at very high speed, what will happen? Your vehicle will overturn, right? A centrifugal force. You have to develop centrifugal force in order to counteract that particular outward direction force. Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
okay. Well, there was some internet issue. So we shall continue with the. Are you able to see the screen?
No, sir.
No. Okay, just a minute. I'll share the screen. Let me know if you see the screen. Okay.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay. So moving on. So I was asking whether you have studied curves before. If you have studied curves before in your diploma, or you have studied super elevation. Have you studied these topics? Curves and super elevation?
Yes, sir.
Yes. You have studied in your diploma, I guess, right? Diploma you have studied, or are you studying it now in the transportation subject? I think transportation is in your next sem. Okay, there you will others also you will be learning regarding super elevation. Okay, super elevation which is provided for your curves. Okay, so that your overturning like this you can see in the screen, overturning does not happen. Right, you have to provide super elevation and proper curves. Okay. So in this image also you can see curves have been provided to change the direction. Okay, they are going downhill, and so that a straight road is not usually the way out when you are going downhill or uphill, right? So the grade or the slope of the road becomes too much, right? So what we do, we go around the hill, right? And we use these kind of curves, right? What we usually call as a ghat section. Okay, so moving on. So we have studied regarding what is a curve and why are these curves necessary. Next, moving on to types of curves, type of curves. So the main two types of curves you can see on your screen, it is horizontal curves and vertical curves. Okay, so the curve which was in your previous slide, okay, on the or the curves which you apply on your roads, right, road or railway track or wherever necessary, which kind do you think it is? Is it a horizontal curve or is it a vertical curve? Is it a horizontal curve or is it a vertical curve?
Horizontal.
Horizontal.
Horizontal. Why do you say that it is a horizontal? Why not a vertical curve? Try to justify your answer. You can give in your own words, no problem. Try to answer in your own words. That is not an issue. Others, why are you guys silent? Please try to reply. Or should I call out your names? Harish Kitli is there. Harish. So if I call out your name and you don't answer, that means you are not present in the class and your attendance will be skipped. Harish Kitli.
Yes, sir.
So which type of curve is it? Is it a horizontal curve or a vertical curve which you provide on your road?
Horizontal, sir.
Horizontal, correct answer. Irshad Ahmad, are you there? Irshad Ahmad is missing. I think he's lost somewhere. Okay. Kempanna Joni, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Kempanna Joni, right. Why do you think it is a horizontal curve and not a vertical curve? No answer. So tell me whether it is in horizontal plane or vertical plane.
It's a horizontal plane.
Horizontal plane, right? So whatever curves are there on your ground, which you place now on your ground, right? So to turn, so whatever your curves on your ground are there in the horizontal plane, right? Your ground is horizontal. So the curves are horizontal curves. And vertical curves also are present. When are these vertical curves present? Whenever you want to go uphill or downhill, right? Uphill and downhill. That times these vertical curves are coming into picture, right? Summit curve meaning, so this is your hill, right? Hill, and this is called the summit of your hill, right? So going up and going down your hill, right? So this is in your vertical plane. I'm showing you the longitudinal section, right? So you are going up the hill, you are going up, and then also you are going downhill, right? This is called a vertical curve or called a summit curve. Okay, and when you have a valley, right, when you are going downhill, right, and there is a uphill, so this kind of curve is called a valley curve, right? Valley curve, when you are going downhill and then going uphill, right? So these are in vertical planes and these are in horizontal. Okay, these are in horizontal plane curves. Okay, you can see these curves are in horizontal plane, not in vertical plane. So horizontal curves, you have many kinds of horizontal curves. You can see you have a simple curve, which we will be studying. We will be studying a compound curve also, and then we will be studying reverse curves. Okay, reverse, transition, and combined. All these kinds of curves we will be studying. Okay, along with these vertical curves also. So we have a lot of portion to cover. Okay, so after these curves, also we have to study what? We have to study transition curves also, transition curves and reverse curves, all those things after your simple curve we have to study. So mainly we will be learning how to design and draw your horizontal curves. Okay, vertical curves are not very important, but horizontal curves with respect to your portion or a syllabus is very important. Okay, so I hope you have understood the types of curves. So there are many other types of curves also, like cuboid curve, there is parabolic curve also, we have many other curves, but regarding your syllabus, these curves are very important. Okay, so these will be applied in your road work or your railway curves and all, these are applied. Okay, so moving on. So you can see this is a simple curve over here. This is a simple curve. This is a compound curve, and this is a reverse curve. Okay. So this is an curve which is provided, and all these curves, okay, they are part of a circle. Okay, part of a circle. So this is an arc, right? Arc, which is nothing but your curve starting at point T1, ending at point T2. Okay, and having a radius R. Okay, so we can see that it is having a finite radius. Okay, finite radius. Okay, and this is called the vertex of your curve. Vertex of your curve. So these are two straights, two straights or two roads you can think of. Then we have changed the direction, or we have joined these two roads using a simple curve. Very simple curve we have used. Next, moving on, we have a compound curve on your right hand side, compound curve. You can see we have two curves. Okay, we have two curves of two different radii. This is one curve of one radius, and then this is other curve of having a larger radius. Okay, R1 and R2. Okay, both of these are having a finite radius. Okay, you can see we have a finite radius. We know the radius of these curves. Okay, so along with this straight, along with these two tangents, we have one more tangent over here. You can see we have a flat tangent, right? So we have three tangents, and then we have a vertex. Okay, so simple curves have same radius, right? Compound curve may have two different or three different radii. Then reverse curve, you can see it is like S shape. So this curve is in this direction, this curve is in this direction, right? Two simple curves in opposite direction also may form a reverse curve. Okay, so this curve and this curve are opposite to each other, and you can see vertex is over here. Okay, tangent 1 is going here, tangent 2 joining at V. It is known as vertex. Okay, both of these curves have a finite radius R1 and R2. Okay, so this is an example. This is the explanation regarding simple horizontal curves. Okay, horizontal curves. Then moving in detail, if you want to learn, so simple curve consists of a single arc. Okay, you can see in the image we have a single arc over here. It's from T1 going up to T2. Okay, connecting two straights. Where what are the straights over here? AB is first straight and CB is the second straight. Okay, this is one straight, and then this is the second one. And we have a curve starting at T1 joining up to T2. Okay, then a simple curve is normally represented by the length of its radius, or by the degree of its curve. Okay, we will learn what is this degree of this curve, but the length of this length of its radius is nothing but this. Okay, R, which is written over here, R, and this degree of curve is nothing but this angle. Okay, this particular angle which is written over here. Okay, this is the degree of curve, or you can represent this particular simple curve by the radius. Okay. Next, moving on to compound curve, it consists of two arcs, okay, of different radii, okay, and in the same direction. Okay, both of these are in the same direction, right? Both of these are in the same direction, but in the reverse curve, one of this curve will be on the opposite side. Okay, so the centers are on the same side. You can observe O1 and O2 are on the same side of the curve, right? And if O1 or O2 goes on the other side, it will become what? It will become a reverse curve. Right, see, you can see here O1 is on this side, O2 has gone on the other side. So this is a reverse curve, right? Two arcs of equal or different radii. It may be equal or it may be different. So these R1 and R2 may be same or it may be different. Okay. So they are bending or they are curving in opposite direction, right? They are curving in opposite direction. Okay, and their centers are on the opposite sides of the curve. So very important to write these 3 points. Okay, equal or different radii, curving in opposite direction, and the centers being on the opposite sides of the curve, right? So this is very important. Whenever they ask you to differentiate and to explain various curves, you can write these statements and you can draw these pictures. Okay, draw these particular figures. Next, so I hope you have understood these three types of curves: simple, compound, and reverse. Have you understood, guys? No problem. Yes or no? Kajal, Pawar,
Yes,
are
sir.
you there? Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Rushabh
sir.
has understood. Kajal has understood. Then Muthu Pujari, are you there? Mutturaj, Muthu Pujari. No answer. Rathod. Abhishek has understood. Very good. Prajwal, are you there? I hope you are understanding. Okay, if you don't understand any of the part, please feel free to ask. Okay, ask your doubts. And if I'm going fast, slow me down. Okay, I tend to go fast as the class proceeds. So make sure if I'm going fast, you can tell me, sir, you're going fast, and tell me to go slow. Shahbaz Sheikh.
यस सर.
हाँ, समझ में आ रहा है?
हाँ सर.
Okay, Altaf has understood, no problem. So moving on. So this is why I'm stressing on this particular things are. So this is very important. And if you don't understand the basics of your curves, so your entire module, you will not understand. Okay, your entire module will go difficult. So these basic things are very important. So make sure you focus and you understand these basic things. Okay, so moving on. So this is very important notations, very important notations. We will learn what are the various terms and various notations that are used in a curve, okay, to define the parts of a curve. Okay, so this particular figure number 1.2, very important figure 1.2, wherein you can see we have a simple curve. We have a simple curve which is shown in the figure. Okay, so we will start with the curve. So curve starts at T1. Curve is starting at T1. Curve is starting at T1, okay, from C going up to T2. T1 up to T2 is your curve. This part is your curve. Okay, what are the straights? Can you tell me in alphabets what are the straights over here? Straights. Two straights are there. Or the two roads. Can you tell me which are the two straights? In
AV and BV.
AV and BV dash.
A and B, V dash or V dash or V?
BV, sir, and AV dash.
AV dash, okay, no problem. You can use any AV or AV dash, any you can use. So these two are your straights, okay, from here. These two are your straights, which I am drawing in red color, okay. So these two are your straights, and you know that the curve is starting from point T1, okay, point T1. Okay, this point T1 is also known as point of curve, PC, okay, PC or point of curve, where your particular curve is starting, and where your curve ends, it is T2, or it is known as PT. PT or point of tangency PT. Okay, where our curve is ending. Okay, so these two you have understood. Now moving on. So this particular part T1 to A or A to T1, okay, this part we have, which I'm showing in red, okay, which is behind your particular curve, okay, this particular tangent or your road. So it is called your back tangent, okay. AT1 is our back tangent, and similarly T2B is called your forward tangent, okay, back tangent and forward tangent. And this is also known as first tangent, and this is also known as second tangent, okay, back tangent or first tangent, second tangent, or your forward tangent, okay, forward tangent, back tangent, all these things are over. And this point where your two straights are meeting, where your two straights meet, it is known as what? Point of intersection, PI, okay, PI, point of intersection. Next, we have seen all this. Next, here this particular angle which is subtended between your two radii, right? This is your radius of our curve, right? Radius of our curve. The angle subtended in between is delta, okay, delta. So half of delta is here, half of it is here, delta by 2, no problem. So this delta is also present here, you can observe. Okay, delta is also present here. The same value, suppose it is a 2 degree or 3 degree curve, the same thing will be here, 2 degree or 3 degree, whichever, whatever is present here, it will be same over here, okay. So it is a property of trigonometry, okay. So do not worry, whatever delta you write here, it is applicable here also, no problem. Next, moving on. So this point, okay, from C to D, okay, C to D, this is called your mid-ordinate, okay, mid-ordinate designated by M, okay. So this point T1 line, straight line joining from T1 to T2, this is called your chord, okay, chord. So particularly it is called as your long chord, okay, long chord from PC to PT or T1 to T2. This is your long chord, LC I will write as long chord, okay. And from the long chord center point to your curve center, okay, this is your mid-ordinate, which is written over here. You can see mid-ordinate, okay, no problem. Then the distance between T1 to V, this distance, okay, this distance, which is equal to this distance, right? T1 to V and V to T2, it is known as tangent distance. Okay, they are equal here. In your simple curve, they are equal. They tend to be equal because radius is equal. Okay, this might not be not be the case in compound curves. Okay, so this is this is tangent distance, which I'll designate as T. Okay, tangent distance. Okay, this distance I'm talking about, this and this particular distance. Okay, now moving on, the distance from C. Okay, distance from C to V, C to V. That also has certain designation, C to V. Okay, C to V. It is called as what? It is called as external distance E. External distance E. Okay, external distance E. The distance from the midpoint of the curve to PI. Midpoint of the curve to PI. It is known as external distance E. External distance E, and this is known as what? A mid-ordinate. From C to D is mid-ordinate. Okay, and this particular T1 to T2 is what? Long chord. This distance is what? T, tangent distance. Okay, this we know it is R, no problem over here. Then have we left out anything? Deflection angle we'll learn later. Okay, it is very confusing to understand now. When we go forward into the chapter, you will understand what we mean by this deflection angle. Okay, length of the curve, I have told you length of the curve is nothing but T1C, T2, right? Length of this particular line or this curve is what? Length of your curve, which is designated by small l. Okay, so subchord is what? Subchord is what? Any this is your long chord, which I have told you, long chord. Any chord which is shorter than this. Okay, any chord which is shorter than this is your subchord. Any chord shorter than this. Okay, if you want to take a point over here and you take a point over here and you join these 2 points, it is called as a chord. Okay, chord, and this chord is shorter in length than your long chord, right? Always it is shorter, so it will be called as a subchord. Any 2 points if you join on your curve, it is a chord. Okay, using a straight line if you join, it is called as a chord. Okay, so right hand curve and left hand curve, so this is also very important. So you can see this is a survey line, right? Going from A to V, this is the direction of a survey line and going from A to V. So this curve is turning towards your right, it is turning towards your right hand side, right? So it is called a right hand curve. And if your curve was on the other side like this, so it will be called as a left hand curve. Okay, right hand curve and left hand curve, depending upon the direction it is turning. Okay, so these are very important. Okay, very important notations which you have to understand so that you understand the whole syllabus, the whole module. Okay, module. So entire module we will be using these particular notations, right? I'll be talking PC, PT, PI, right? Delta, deflection angle. I'll be talking about mid-ordinate, external distance, tangent distance. So you need to recall what is what. Okay, yeah, external distance is this distance from here to here. Tangent distance is here. Mid-ordinate is this, long chord. Okay, all these things you have to remember. So make sure after the class you draw this particular diagram and you write down all the particular notations. Okay, so this is very important. So is this part clear? All these parts are clear. I hope it is clear. Have you understood, guys? Okay,
Yes,
if you have understood, please raise your hand. You have an option to raise your hand, right? You can raise your hand. Altaf has understood. Very good. Only three of you have raised your hands. Others, please raise your hand if you are understood. Very important. This part is very important. So I am focusing on this part. Please raise your hand if you have understood. Abhishek Jaligad has understood. No problem. Lakshmi has understood. Prajwal understood. Please raise your hand if you have understood. I'll also get a check whether who is active in the class and who is not. Who have just turned on, who have just joined and left. Please raise your hand if you have understood. Okay, no problem. You can lower your hand. Please lower your hand. No problem. Okay, so this is very important, very important part of your curve. Okay, of your curves. So these particular notations we will be using. So I think someone's cat is meowing. I think please you have to mute your particular mic. Thank you. Moving on. So this is very important. Then next thing is the designation of curves. So what do you mean by designation of curves is how you particularly name or you identify your curve, okay? Identify your curve, how you identify your curve. So curve is designated or it is named. How it is named? It is either named by the radius, okay, radius of the curve, or the angle subtended, okay, angle subtended, or what we call as degree of curve, okay, degree of curve. So whenever you see a curve in the road, so it will be either designated by its radius or its degree of curve, right? So whenever you are in the field and they tell you it is a curve of 100 meter radius, okay, it is a curve of 100-meter radius. So you have to understand that they are telling in terms of radius, right? Designation is in terms of radius. Or if they tell you that the angle of the degree of curve of this particular curve is 2 degrees or 3 degrees, right? Then they are telling with respect to the degree of curve. Okay, you can either use radius, or they will tell you either in the terms of radius or in the degree of curve. Okay, so radius is very easy, right? Radius is very easy. You know this particular distance, right? From O to P, this particular distance is known. You can directly know the radius, no problem. But when it comes to degree of curve or the angle subtended, you have to do certain calculations, right? And we have to derive a formula for this particular D in terms of R. Okay, D in terms of R, D in terms of R. So we have to derive, I have told you, we have to derive a equation between this R and this D. Okay, R and D. So we can have two types of derivations. We can have two types of derivation. So we can either, you can see, I have drawn two diagrams, right, on the screen. So this is showing what length of your arc, right? So this is an arc of 100 feet, okay, 100 feet. 100 feet length of the arc. So you can use the arc definition to derive that particular relation between R and D. We can use arc definition, or you can see in the second figure, we have used chord, right? A chord of 100 feet, 100 feet chord we have used. Chord is what? This line, right? Long chord. So 100 feet chord you can use. So, and to derive a relationship between radius and degree of curve. So that is known as chord definition, derivation by your chord definition. So we have two types I've told you. From the, either you can derive a relation from your length of your arc or from the length of your chord. Okay, so we'll look into both of these. So the first thing is, as I have explained to you this, right? I've explained to you, we can either designate the particular curve using arc, right? Using R or using D, right? You can have, and we have to now derive a relationship between these two particular designations, right? R and D. We have to find a relationship between these two. Okay, so do you recall what is the length of an arc? Length of an arc formula, L is equals to what? Length of an arc. Length of arc. Length of arc is equal to what? R into what? R into some particular term we have to multiply to get the length of this arc. Do you recall?
Theta or sin theta.
Theta. What is it here? What is it here? What is it here in this particular example? Theta into, yeah, no, don't tell me in terms of theta. What is it here?
D.
D, right? It is nothing but D. So length of your arc is what? R into D, right? So length is what? This 100 feet, 100 feet. Okay. So arc is what? Let me tell you what is an arc. Arc is what? Arc is part of a circle, right? This is your arc, right? Of 100 feet. Okay. This arc is nothing but it is part of a circle. It is what? It is part of a circle, right? Like this, it is a part of a circle. It is R. This will term as O, center of your circle. This is also R, radius of a circle. This is P and this is Q. Okay. Now what is the circumference? What is the circumference, or what is the perimeter formula? Perimeter formula. Perimeter of this particular 2 pi r, right? 2 pi r. 2 pi r. Correct answer, 2 pi r. Okay. So this is length of your arc, length L, right? Right, and it is part of this whole circle. So it is proportional. It is proportional to what? It is proportional to the angle subtended theta, or D over here. So length of an arc, it is D, and for the whole circle it is how much? 360. So what I'm doing, I'm equating, I'm using the relationship of arc, okay, from similar proportions. So L by 2 pi r, L by 2 pi r. So this is for your particular curve, right? Particular curve, which is this length of your arc is L and the angle subtended is D. Okay, angle subtended is D. Okay, the length of your whole circle, as you have told me, it is what? 2 pi r. 2 pi r, and the angle, okay. Okay, you have to write
Length of the arc RD.
RD, is it RD? Okay, so what you have to do, you have to find a relationship between R and D. Okay, R and D. So it is what? It is 100, which is the length of your arc, right? 100 here. You can observe that we are taking a length of 100, like 100 feet. We are taking 100 feet divided by 2 pi r divided by 2 pi r is equals to what? R is equals to D is equals to D divided by 360 divided by 360. This is degrees, right? Degrees. Now R is equals to what? Now R is equals to what? R is equals to 2 pi r. Sorry, R will not come here. R will not come. R is already at the left hand side, right? 2 pi r. This 2 pi will go here. So 2 pi into D, right? 2 pi into D divided by 100 into 360. Correct? Are we going correct? So what is R? Are you going correct? So the answer, I'll tell you what is the answer. Answer has to come 5729 or 5730 if you round it off, divided by D. Okay, divided by D. This has to be the answer. Are you getting the same answer? No, I guess we have done it in the reverse form. Right, I think we have written this equation reverse. It has to be in the reverse form. Right, because R is in the denominator, right? R is in the denominator. Right, this R will go over here, right? And D will come down. So it will be 100 into 360, 100 into 360 degrees divided by D into 2 pi. Now try to simplify. You will get this particular answer.
Yes, sir. 5729.58.
58, right? 58. You can use this exact value, or you can round it off to 30. Okay, 5729 or 5730 by D. Okay, so this will give you radius in terms of what? In terms of feet. Okay, because we have used an arc of 100 feet. We have used feet over here. Unit is feet. Okay, so whenever you have a curve which is given in feet, right, then you can use this particular thing. Okay, so this is the relationship between R, which is the radius of your curve, and the designation, sorry, not the designation, or the degree of your curve D. Okay. So this is what we have done using what? Arc definition. Okay, arc definition. Okay, and if you have been given any other, if you use any other, like if you are using 30 feet, or if you are using 100, if you are using 500 feet length of the arc, that particular thing you can substitute over here. Okay, you can substitute over here and you can derive a formula. No problem. Okay, because we have used 100 feet, which is standard, right? 100 feet. So we have derived this particular formula. Okay, if they give you any other length of the curve, you can use that over here and you can derive this particular relationship between R and D. Okay, you can see from similar proportion, you can see that we have arrived at this particular relationship. Okay, so remember, this is very important formula. R is equals to what? 5370 by D. Okay, this will give you answer in feet. Remember this relation. Next, moving on to chord definition. Okay, we are using a chord of 100 feet. Okay, 100 feet. So this is what? This is a right angle triangle, right? This is a right angle triangle. Correct, right angle triangle. So can we use any trigonometric function over here to derive an equation? Can we use any trigonometric function to derive any relationship here? What is this? This is nothing but D by 2, and this is what? 50. right? So this is a right angle triangle. You can see right angle triangle, no problem. So from triangle POC, right? This is P, O, and C. From triangle POC, what can you use to derive a relationship between this R and this angle D? Which can you use, sine, cos, or tan? Sine,
So
cos, tan.
sine.
Sine. So what? Very good. So can you tell me what is sine theta d by 2 here? D by 2. Sine is what? Opposite upon hypotenuse. 50 by opposite is this. Opposite to this angle is what? Opposite. 50 opposite upon hypotenuse is R, right? So R is equals to what? Now R will go here and this will come down. So 50 by sine d by 2. Okay, so this is d by 2. It is not whole divided by 2. Okay, take care while substituting. So this relationship you can derive from this chord definition. Okay, chord definition. This is also very important with respect to your exam point of view. We will also be solving many numericals regarding this. Okay, so whenever you have a small d, okay, whenever you have this angle which is subtended, okay, when you have a small angle which is subtended, say 1 degree or less than 1 degree, this sine delta by 2, what we can do, we can take it, we can ignore this sign. We can ignore the sign and we can write direct what it is, 50 by d by 2, 50 divided by d by 2, we can write. Okay, so this is in radians. Okay, this particular d is in radians. Okay, to convert it into degrees, what you have to do, you have to multiply by pi by 180, pi by 180. Sorry, so what this is in degrees. Okay, this was in degrees, right? This was in degrees. So we have converted it to radians. We have converted it to radians. So you can simplify and you will get an answer of 5370. You can try to simplify. You will get the same answer that we have derived in the previous, definition, right? Arc definition, whatever we have derived. Same thing you will get here. Try to simplify this particular equation. Try to simplify. You will get the same thing, right? 5370 by d, and here also you can observe 5370 by d. Okay, by chord definition and by arc definition, the same thing we will be getting. Okay, that is nothing but a check which you can apply. Okay, so you can observe. So it is from the chord definition, we have used sine, right? We have used sine and we have arrived at this formula. Then what we can say, when d is very small, when the angle of that is subtended here in degrees is very small, we can ignore this particular sign and we can directly write, and then we can convert this d by 2 into radians, right? And then this will be 5370. Okay, this is an approximate formula. Okay, approximate formula. This is the exact formula, right? Because we have ignored this sign over here, this is the exact, right? Because we have ignored, it has become an approximate formula. Okay, so we can see that for smaller values of d, both equation 1.1a and 1.2a are same, right? This is 1.2a and this is 1.1a over here. 1.1a, right? 5370 by d. So this is a very important formula. Make sure you note this down. Okay, 5370 by d. R is equals to 5370 by d. Okay, so you get confused between this diameter, right? You think that this is the diameter or this is the distance. So what we'll do, we'll write delta instead of d to make sure that you do not make any mistake. So this is what? This is angle subtended over here. Okay, angle subtended by the curve or the arc. Okay, so this is very important regarding your curves. Okay, regarding your curves. So the next thing that we are left out is a metric degree of curve and all those elements of curves. Okay, this will be studying in our next class. Okay, so I think your time for your class is over. I think it is, what is the time? 11:26. Okay, no problem. So I think this class is 1 hour class. So I hope you have understood. In the next class, we will be studying regarding elements of simple curve, elements of a simple curve. That is also very important and very the basic thing that is required for solving your numericals. Okay, so make sure you do not miss the second part of your curves. Okay, second class which I'm talking about. Okay, so today we have learned about curves. We have learned types of curves and we have derived a relationship between radius and the angle subtended. Okay, and in the next class we will be learning various elements of a simple curve, various elements regarding a simple curve. Okay, so if you have any doubts, you are free to ask if you have any doubts, and simultaneously you can start typing in your attendance. Okay, you can type your attendance, and meanwhile, if anyone has any doubt, you can ask. Okay, don't hesitate to ask doubts. Okay, after you give your attendance, you are free to leave the meeting. No problem.
Thank you, sir.